I'm just letting one more person in. My Hollywood squares are complete now. And hello, everyone in the chat. I'm sorry, I said please say hello and let us know where you're from, and I stopped looking. Tanya, how are you? All right. All right. So now we have 9. While our 9th guest gets ready, hello there. I am going to start letting all the teachers introduce themselves, and I am going to start with you. Well, Catherine, should I start with you? You're brand new. Well, to this, but not to lives.
The initiation.
The initiation, right?
Trial by
Yeah.
fire. Here we go. Hi, my name
Mm.
is Dr. Catherine Vandertulip. If it shows up on the screen as Catherine Parsley, um, old last name, no longer. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am, among other things, a tarot reader, a Reiki level 2 practitioner, and I have my doctorate in vocal performance in opera.
Amazing. Yeah, I stalked Catherine. I saw one of her lives and I loved them so much and her sense of humor and just her style in general that I emailed her about 5 or 6 times until she said yes. Normally, I don't try that hard.
I'm so honored.
So, yes, I stalked you. And Eliyahu, please introduce yourself. And Eliyahu, I was so happy, texted me yesterday and was like, hey, do you have room for one more? And I was like, absolutely.
Hey everybody, my name is Eliyahu. My pronouns are they, them. I'm another teacher here on Insight Timer. I mean, is that kind of given? Maybe, but I'm a Reiki master, spiritual intuitive guidance coach, sound healer, artist. I do a lot of different stuff, but I'm so grateful to be here. Um, yeah. I'm currently in Nebing, Ontario. On my profile, it says San Diego,
Oh.
because that's where I was. But I
Are you
kind
near
of got
Cindy
a,
right now?
yeah, I'm with Cindy. We're doing a retreat. We
Excellent.
do still have spots left. It's on both of our teacher profiles. It's called Recharge Your Spirit Retreat. It's going to be so spectacular. July 20th through the 25th. So that's coming up. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm going to go from here, but I know that I'm here now. But I
Ah,
will be traveling is kind of the plan.
excellent. Nice. Very nice. And Jonathan, I'm moving over to you.
Greetings, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yay. Jonathan, he is. I've been a teacher on Insight Timer for several years. I describe myself as a, multidisciplinary walking artist. um, I spend a lot of time on foot for health and for connection, for meditative practice, weeks, months at a time. I'm also a pen artist and a mobility justice activist. So I do a lot of storytelling around themes of accessibility as well, and how to make our places safer and more nurturing for people who walk and use wheelchairs. And I hug a lot of trees. Um, so yeah, really grateful
Nice.
to be here.
Nice. Nice. Happy to have you here. And Dina, please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Dina Coble, and my main focus, outside of celebrating Pride, because I am proud and I'm part of the LGBTQ community, is my focus is living as awareness, and so that means talking about self-love, but not just talking about it, giving stories that take you into the experience of the vibration. And so, whether it's in a one-on-one session or a live or on other options I have, if you check my bio in the first link. But if you want transformation and you want to laugh and not take yourself too seriously and do it in a way that you can live, work, enjoy family, that's what I do. So, looking forward to where we go tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. And Jamie.
Namaste, everyone. I'm Jamie. Um, I'm a leader of love, Usui Holy Fire 3 Reiki Master Teacher. Everything I do is under the umbrella of a burnout recovery and intimacy expert. And I love to support those who are leaders of love, people who are leading with their heart in whatever it is that they do to benefit this beautiful planet and collective. And I'm honored to be here. For the purpose of pride, I'm queer, trans, non binary, and he, they pronouns are great. Thank you.
Thank you. Oops, there was my dog. He wants to get involved. I see that you're using a different name, but I'm going to call you Casey because that is your name, correct?
Yes, so that is another massive change that has happened over the past couple weeks. So my birth name is Casey, but I am now walking as Soraya, the Echo Flame, after a personal transformation. So hi everyone, officially as Soraya, Echo Flame. I am a mystic guide, a spoken word channeler, a creator of soul rooted offerings, also a Reiki master as well. I do all of that here on Insight Timer. Off of Insight Timer, I'm a licensed mental health therapist. Here on Insight Timer and walking as Soraya, I support others in remembering their soul truths, navigating thresholds, deepening into their own inner voice, especially in noisy and overwhelming times. My work weaves kind of energy practices, poetic transmissions, sacred reflection to help people walk as their true, full, authentic selves. I also am a member of the community, and I literally came out on Insight Timer during a live for the first time in my
Excellent.
life. So
Excellent.
I am a she, they, and would consider myself non-binary. So
Got it. All right. And we'll call you Saraya. That's what you want, right? I want to call you whatever you want to be called. All right. And
yes, thank you.
Jason. Absolutely. Jason.
Well, hi. Well, what a coincidence. I'm going back into the closet today. I actually, about 9 years ago, as a publicity stunt, I decided to go back into the closet publicly. And so I've been identifying as publicly closeted gay. For various reasons. It's a long story, but anyways, I am currently traveling, so hopefully you all can hear me okay. And I'm on a public connection, so it might be a little wonky. So please let me know if there's any issues. I'm currently in the greater Sedona, Arizona area. And I'm typically based down in the Sonoran Desert in a little town called Ajo. And I started a pride group there over a year ago, and it completely died. But hey, at least I did it. And it was something that needed to happen. And hopefully somebody who has the cred, for lack of a better term, will take it over and just allow me to be the webmaster or something to that effect. Anyways, I am a mail order reverend as of last year. I'm a teacher on here. I've been publishing with this system here for almost 10 years. And I've been doing live streams now since October of last year, mostly intuitive dream work. And I also here in Arizona seasonally and occasionally for special events, therapeutic movement, in addition to multimedia work and all kinds of mayhem. So it's wonderful to be here today. I am one of the party crashers today. I invited myself here as I found out that there's a couple others.
Yeah, quite a few
are
actually.
self-imposed.
Yeah. But I love it. I love it. I love when people message me and ask if they can join. And I always say yes. And then I let Alejandro deal with it. Speaking of my co-host, I'm going to let him take over.
Hi, everyone. I am the co-host. My name is Alejandro. I am a health and wellness coach, a mindfulness teacher, and meditation guide, and again, with a heart for vulnerability, for authenticity, and for all things healing, whatever that might look like, whatever that might feel like, whatever that might sound like.
And yes, I am also a part of the LGBTQIA Premium Plus subscription. I have subscribed. I pay my dues with um, laughter, tears, and 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 debates. I guess is that I think that counts as part of paying the dues. But I am so happy to be here today. I'm so happy to have all of you awesome teachers whom I have been in everyone's live at some point. And it's really exciting to hold space together. To all of you who are watching us, listening to us, feel free to ask questions in the chat box. I'll do my best to keep up with the chat and to bring the questions forward and we'll answer. So just as a reminder, as per policy, just make sure that the questions that I understand the political climate we live in, but know that we try to refrain from politically polarizing topics due to policy here on Insight Timer. So I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you all for being here. And shall we start? I feel like there should be a song, like a little, like a Jeopardy. Like right now, I hear like,
Do, do, do. Yeah.
do, do, do. um, so
I believe Catherine said she's an opera singer.
imagine just breaks out in song, like in some
Right.
grandeur song. So I guess
I love her. Thank you.
thank you for that. Thank you.
I'm
Unexpected.
crying already.
Um, so so today, as we know, today we're celebrating Pride. Still, not just because it's we don't only celebrate Pride in June, although that is Pride Month. We celebrate Pride every day. Every day we choose to wake up and live our authentic lives, regardless of what that sounds like, what that looks like, regardless if people understand. Um, it is it is the waking up, it is the standing up, the being grounded in who we are, who that truly helps us be the reality of who we've always been created to be, whatever that might be. So I guess my first question to you all is what does pride mean to you? Um, especially this year. What is celebrating pride mean to you? And because we're a small group today, well, compared to others, just go ahead and you can unmute yourself and answer as the answer comes to you. But not all at the same time, please.
For me, and I'm gonna do my best to keep to the policy because Pride began as a riot. And so it's remembering our trans ancestors that were fighting against the police brutality and those laws that were, made it not possible to exist safely, authentically. And, we're still dealing with that stuff today. So for me, this month of Pride, and I talked about this a little bit on Insight Timer, it's just remembering those that came before us who were fighting and making waves for us to be able to live more authentically now. And for me, I feel like I wasn't able to really celebrate Pride in a way of like, yay, like I'm gonna go to these parties and see all these people and do the parades just because of everything going on. I mean, I did celebrate in the very, very beginning. I had the beautiful bonfire with some friends, and I might actually be going to a Pride festival tomorrow here in Thunder Bay. So I'm like, that might be fun. We'll see. But to me, Pride is finding something every day that brings joy. Authentic joy, whether it's related to being queer, whether it's related to being your authentic self, doing something every day that brings joy, whether it's coloring, eating a yummy snack, singing the Jeopardy theme on the top of your lungs, right? Finding ways to laugh. Joy is resistance right now. So that is what pride is for me.
Absolutely. I love that. Joy is resistance. Um, yes, yes, yes. Choosing to live a joyful life, regardless of everything else. That that is that is resistance. Dana.
Well, yeah, thank you. So, pride to me, because, I like to think I was, about it because I was born on the day of Stonewall. And that was my birthday. And, I've made it through the AIDS epidemic. Um, Not all my friends, but so I remember those times that have been very scary. And the biggest change, I think, for myself is self recognition. One, I think that's why, the LGBT community moves towards a spirituality or consciousness, whether or not they name it that, because you have to recognize yourself first, who you are. And then once you break that barrier for something socially, it opens you up to self recognize the love that you are, which is past any identity. So even though times may be frightening, we've been through it before. And the more we self recognize, the more that we accept our own loving being, the more we change the world around us. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud of where we're going. And I'm not afraid. So thank you.
Awesome. Powerful. Soraya.
I have to get used to being called that. I was like, wait, that's me now. So because this is the year that I basically came out of all years, right? When I finally embraced and accepted all of my authentic self, um, pride was I don't even really have the words for what pride was. I live in a when I say I'm from Maryland, everyone automatically thinks of Baltimore. And most people have not heard of the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And the Eastern Shore of Maryland is like stepping back into the 1950s or 40s or maybe even 30s. It's a very rural, conservative area that I still feel uncomfortable wearing this shirt here, even out and about. And for me, especially with what's going on this year and embracing myself, I'm not afraid. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not afraid to live my authentic self. I'm lucky that I'm close to DC. And me and my sister, who is an ally, went to DC for World Pride this year. And it was absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you how emotional it was and the energy that was there of everyone standing up and saying that we will not be silenced, that it doesn't matter who's sitting up there right now, that we are still ourselves. We are allowed to be ourselves. We're allowed to love and be happy and live. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome. Welcome to the subscription. Welcome to the community. So good to have you. So good to have just different sort of community ages, if does that make sense? Like some of us have been out for a long time. Some of us are just, sort of stepping into the authenticity of our sexual identity and gender identity, whatever that might be, whatever that might look like recently. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And I guess it's an encouragement. Age is an illusion, and it's okay to restart whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel called to do so. So if that's you, be encouraged. Some of us are barely coming out, and that's okay. Jamie.
Of course, I forgot to unmute. Thank you. That really, all of you actually, the culmination of so many little pieces of what you all have said so far is really how I feel about pride. And I was just thinking about how much pride and what it means to me has changed so much because I'm 36. I started coming out when I was like 14 and a half, 15. I have come out like 6 different ways. I've had a long journey and I'm still not convinced that I'm fully done coming out. And just because who knows at this point, there were checkpoints that I thought I'd never make. And there was a period of time where I thought I wouldn't be here. And so for me, I realized that pride is the evolution of self-love. And I am very proud to say that quite literally, the one way that I have intentionally celebrated pride outside of being myself this year is this call. And the reason why that's a big milestone to me is because once upon a time, I felt like pride was still being in that fight, still standing in the shadow of Marsha P. and everyone. And now I just need to be me and be present. And I don't feel that I need to be proud any way that anyone feels like that should look for me. I wanted to exist. I believe that that was the genesis of all of this, that we wanted to love ourselves and to be loved and exist peacefully and mutually. And I do that now, regardless of what is going on around me. So it's an evolution. And if you feel like you don't know what pride means for you right now, or if you feel like pride has meant something different in the past, be with where you feel now and know that that can change all over again. So thank you for being a part of my milestone. I'm proud of us all.
Ah, okay. Cool. No Kleenex today. Thanks. Should have known better. I mean, I should know better. I'm a crier. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. I love that pride is that self-love journey is yes, more on that later. Jason
Oh,
or Jonathan, I'm sorry. Oh, so many J's, so many J's. Ah.
Oh, so many beautiful sharings. Thank you, everyone. I feel so connected to everybody already. And I almost want to break with like a little bit of opera between each person. So thank you, Catherine. I'm hoping for more. So I'm gay. I've been out for a lot, for a while. I really connect with Jamie's just unfolding always in the coming out space, I feel, or just a lot of curiosity around that. I also had a really, really hard, heavy, difficult coming out journey. And so for me, the pride, there's just 2 things. There's a lot of things, but 2 things in particular that I'll just share. The first is I never felt safe with a lot of the people that I was around growing up, very specifically related to emotions and attraction and just all these things that felt so natural and colorful and wonderful, but were very, very much blocked by a lot of stuff, hard stuff, and primarily people. And so for me, it was really going to the trees and the natural world for this cosmic, magical, wild, of course, universal inclusion. Trees that I really believed saw me. And now really, I have a drawing that I just finished called, it's this large, funky, really odd growing tree and this young person with a little Frenchie dog behind them, and they're just looking up at the tree and the tree's looking down at them. And the question underneath is, can we be friends? And it's this connection between nature that I just, it's just such, it's a grounding, centering, everything, teacher guide for me. And so I think about relationship to nature as pride, just connecting to this big cosmic universal. You are here and you are bright and you are shining as you are. Also just trees in general, with branches growing in all directions and branches breaking, and how they adapt. It's like there's just a lot of queerness in nature. Let's be real. It's amazing. The second thing that I'll just be really quick on is the full spectrum of emotion. And I just there's been a lot of anger this season, and I've just been okay with that. Like, let the anger move, let it find its way, let the fire come out a little bit, but in a way that where I feel like the trees and the river can help me hold it so it's not destructive to myself and to others. But to just allow anger to have its place, and to allow grief to have its place, and joy to have its place. Joy is resistant. I feel that too. So nature connection and full, blazing, beautiful, messy, sloppy, imperfect, wondrous emotion. So those two things really come alive around Pride for me. So.
Love that. Absolutely, absolutely. Someone in the comments, Jay in the comments, says you never stop coming out. It's something that you do over and over and over again. And it's interesting, Jay, that you say that, because I had not been dating for the past, and I was talking to Violet about this last week. I recently started dating again after like 6 years, and telling my mom, like, hey, I'm dating, felt like that first conversation saying, hey, I like guys. Um, and it was so interesting. I'm a grown dude. Like, like, it's fine. And like, I've been accepted and loved regardless. There's this not this like fear, but it was like coming out again. Like, hey, by the way, I'm sort of, if you don't see me as much anymore, it's because I'm out getting my heart broken. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Um, just kidding. Just kidding. It's kidding. Catherine, you had your hand up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, total transparency, I kissed my first girl 17 days ago. So, I don't know how much I can add from the queer perspective, but thank you. I I feel so Twitter pated. It's so bad, y'all. She's so pretty.
I
Anyway,
kissed a girl and I like it.
I literally sang that in her face right afterward. It was so bad. Anyway, but I do want to say something from the perspective of being a university professor, a university grad student, and having the babies come to the music department for the last decade of my life. So many little LGBTQ babies who are coming to the university setting after being stuck in their small towns or in their small-minded community situations. And pride for me, as an ally and somebody who was there to catch their little panicked hearts, pride for me is making sure they understand how proud I am of them and all of you for surviving. Not everybody has. Old age, I've been saying old age is a privilege denied to many, but at this point, existence without being bothered is a privilege denied to many. So to make it through the tumultuousness of adolescence, to get through to finding your community, to recognizing your gender expression, to be brave enough to step off the path that was set before you and to say, no, I'm going to do something different. I'm proud of you. And I am grateful that you fought through all of that to come into my orbit, to come into my sphere, and to make my community better, because you have. There's your opera.
That- Yes, yes, and amen. Yes, I am having the urge to, as someone who grew up in the church in the South, I'm having the urge to start sort of hollering back at you as if I was in a Southern Black church, but also at a drag event. So it's a beautiful, whatever's happening here, it's beautiful. So yes, mother, speak. Yes, mother. Amen. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Speaking of coming out and stepping into our queer identity, whatever that may be, how has doing so, how has stepping into the fullness of who you are has shaped your healing journey or your spiritual path? What is that? What has what does that look like for you? What does that feel like to you? And I'll start. I grew up in the church. I went to Bible college, and have now a few theological degrees. And I remember the fear of coming out and the fear of losing my spirituality and my connection to the divine. However, someone just asked me this 2 days ago at a different podcast, or this is not a podcast, on a podcast, and how have I in my spiritual journey, how have I married the two? And for me, I have never felt closer to the divine, um, until, like, I felt the closest when I looked within and I accepted everything I was, the good, the not so good, the healed, and those parts of me that still needed healing. Ah, and it was then when I said, hey, yo, like, this is me. And not saying it to the world, because F the world, respectfully. When I said it to myself, when I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, this is me. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is who I choose to be from now on. That moment, it clicked, and I felt so close to the divine. I felt like it made sense. So for me, my healing continued when I said yes to the things in my life that I had been told for so long were ugly and dirty and not acceptable. When I said yes to who I am, to the authenticity of the reality of who I was created to be from the beginning of time, whatever that might be, then I felt so close to my spiritual path, and healing continued. And there was this, I remember being in group therapy and sort of being like, um, well, I'm I'm bisexual. I like both. Um, I've been with both in secret, and no one reacted any specific way. I was like, oh, also, like, it's fine, like, it's cool. So also, the community of of acceptance that happens when, because we're no longer pretending, and authenticity begets authenticity. But anyways, I can go on and on and on and on about acceptance. But yeah, how has stepping in the authenticity of your queer identity, how has that shaped your healing and your spiritual path, your spiritual journey, Jamie?
This is my journey. This is my they're the three of them are directly linked. So in the shortest way that I can describe this, I was raised by a very non-religious and non-guided home of Eastern European Jews on both sides, and in New York, in a town that was very religiously predominantly Jewish. And when I was at the time living as female still and living as bisexual and in a relationship that was very serious with another woman, and I went on birthright to Israel, and I had a huge fight at Shabbat dinner with the rabbi who told me that I was a sin in all that I was. I made a lot of decisions about which I went there to do. I went there to make these decisions about what it was. And I was like, that's it. I've confirmed for myself that like I'm not spiritual and I don't need this. Fast forward, I'm in my early 20s. I am bedridden from chronic illness. We have no idea what's wrong with me. I'm in 10 out of 10 pain. I have lost that same girl that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Like my whole life just completely crashed, and I'm back in bed, barely able to move with my parents. And it was during this time when I was at the lowest of my low where I realized that none of this made sense to me. I didn't understand how I could be somebody of such love who was here to help people and to be effectively benched, is how I would refer to myself. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. And in this time when I was bedridden, I had only time to think. I realized that I was trans. I realized that I needed to start transitioning, and I had no idea how to do this when I could barely move. I realized that I had this whole awakening within my health journey and what it was for, that it was to help me to change the trajectory of my life and my way of being. And I prayed very seriously for the first time ever. And while it was not a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory moment where I jumped out of bed, internally, something shifted for me. And I had what I refer to as my tri awakening, where I realized I'm not leaving this earth until I'm done doing what I'm here to do. And if you help me get out of this bed, I promise that I will transition. I promise that I will live my truth. I promise that I will spend the rest of my life helping people to live authentically and do the same. And it was over a decade of on and off of transitioning and my health journey and all this stuff. And there are things I still deal with, but ultimately, I couldn't be happier, couldn't be healthier, and I am 1000% me in every possible moment. So for me, it is entirely my journey. And I believe that it's a path that if this resonates with you, know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for that awesome question.
You better preach. You better preach. So good. I love that line, and I know I'm paraphrasing, but I will not leave this world until like I do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, until I complete my mission and purpose here.
Period. 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 And that's on period. I love that. New affirmation unlocked. I love gathering affirmation like they're Pokemons. New one unlocked. I love that. I love that. Eliyahu, go ahead. Come on in.
Now I'm laughing about collecting affirmations like Pokemon because yeah.
Journals full of them. Journals full of them.
Oh, you betcha. Jamie, thank you for sharing that story. That was amazing. Yeah, I'm like, how squeaky can this chair get? Anyway, I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone, but it's really loud for me. Anyways, my journey with figuring out my authentic self and my spirituality is like so put together. I always knew I was queer. I always knew since I was little, like in middle school, someone introduced me to the term pansexual, and I was like, what the hell is pansexual? And they were like, oh, it's, when you like everybody, like it doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl or a gender or whatever, like you don't like hearts, not parts. And I was like, yeah, like that's right. That's how I feel. Sure, I'm pansexual. Got that, whatever. Now I like the term queer much better than pansexual, but that's a whole other discussion. And I was very like I felt very lucky, and I'm very fortunate to have a very accepting family. And so I was able to date whoever I wanted and whenever in high school and college, all of that. And when I began meditating every day, I was starting this journey of, oh, like who my spirit team? Like I'm trying to be more intentional with the affirmations I'm saying every day. Let me start an affirmation practice. And I was really diving into breaking this conditioning of needing to be depressed and anxious all the time. And that kind of led me to talking to my psychiatrist and getting diagnosis for ADHD. And as soon as that clicked, as soon as I realized, holy cow, I've been conditioning myself to present in this exact box that everyone is telling me I needed to be, that's not who I am. I was able to start discovering, okay, who am I? And that's when I realized that I was non-binary and was like, okay, screw all the gender norms, screw all of that, whatever. I'm just going to start testing out different pronouns, go by different names, see what that is. But that was hand in hand when I was meditating every day, when I was starting to connect with my intuition, when I was really tuning in to my nature. And this is not super related to being queer, but with spirituality, it's funny because I didn't grow up in a super religious household, but I was raised Jewish in a way that my mom is from Israel. So she gave us all of these traditional, more like really, really ancient practices that they would still practice. And she would kind of not force us, but she would take us to all these American Jewish places because I grew up in California. And she was like, this is not my practice, but I want you to be exposed to it so you know it. And I was like, I don't resonate with this stuff. Like, I don't know why we're separating people and doing all this. Like, it's just not resonating with me. As I was developing this affirmation practice, meditating every day, being intentional with myself, I picked up a couple books of Kabbalah, which is like the Jewish mysticism. And all of the practices I was intuitively doing was lining up with this Kabbalistic practice. So it not only reunited me more to my Jewish ancestry, also, there's beliefs there that the God that we talk about is genderless, is all genders, is no gender. And I was like, hell yeah, canonically non-binary God. Like, that's great. Like, so it was all super lining up, being queer and non-binary and getting in tune with my spiritual self. It was all like hand in hand with that unlocking of, oh, I'm neurodivergent. I'm not this, the path that people are telling me to go on. That's false. That's made up. It's all made up. And that's such a fun thing to learn, is everything we do in the society is made up. We just made it up. And now I'm going to ramble on for forever. So I'm going to cut myself off here if I
I
but
I, I love that.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. I was screaming here, quite literally. Thank God I was muted. Um, yeah. Not the non-binary God. Uh, I'll start using that because I have really good friends who are still very much conservatives. No,
In the
anyways,
Torah, it's back to the basics.
everything and nothing, everything and nothing. It's all, and it's Dana. Come on in.
Hey, thank you. So I think, for me, one of the things, because I was raised in a very religious household, very strict fundamental Baptist. Went to only Christian schools and then a Christian college. And it's where I learned that regardless of a spirituality, life will teach you. Life will take you to what, because I think a lot of times when we're thinking about spirituality, it's like, oh, what's outside of me, or what is it that I can get into that'll make me more whole? And you will make yourself whole. And when you recognize, hey, I'm gay, and life says you're not supposed to be, and that was the time frame that I was in, then you have to recognize your right to exist, accept you, and self-recognize that aspect. And when you do that, when you accept yourself as you are, with the absolute right to exist, because just like any other part of life, like a tree, like a flower, it doesn't matter. You're a part of that same life, and we don't question the right for other trees and plants and animals to exist. So don't question your own. And through that recognition of my right to exist and the acceptance of myself, it took me into loving myself. And that are the tools you need to evolve yourself and your consciousness. So whether you have a practice or not, whether you call it spirituality or not, the only thing you're bumping up against is the rules in your mind. And it's amazing when life teaches you that a simple shift in your perspective and your belief is what opens the doors for you. And the way to do that is living and self-recognizing and then loving yourself, because those go hand in hand. So whichever door you choose to go through, spirituality, accepting yourself, just that recognition and that love takes you into the space of who you really are. And once you find that, well, then you definitely want to come out of closet, whatever closet that you're in, and enjoy life.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Surya.
Excuse me. So I was also raised Southern Baptist, and we did church every Wednesday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. And I recognized how ingrained in my subconscious that was, and how disconnected it actually made me feel as I got older. Um, and I didn't really do anything with it. Like all this has been a long journey for me, but the main journey started about 6 years ago after my dad, trying to think how I can say this. My dad died suddenly, um, by his own means. And that kind of ripped my whole world open. So that started me on my own healing journey, right? That looking in, and started on here as a user on Insight Timer, meditating and finding out all of these things. Went and got trained in Reiki. And, there's this, Jamie will know this too. Oh, and Eliyahu as well. There literally was a chapter on religious trauma, in our Reiki training, because so many people had it. And then as I've continued to go on and go on, like Dina was just saying, and the more you turn in and look at yourself, and like Alejandro, you said earlier, the more you learn to love every part of yourself, the parts that are good, the parts that are might not be good that you're trying to change. And you truly find out and accept who you are, and you do want to live your authentic self, then I do feel more connected than I ever have. I feel like I was in a channel having a conversation with Christ like 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, who are you? Who are you now? Like, you used to just like cringe when you heard the word God, but it's because like I recognized that like I didn't have a problem with source, I didn't have a problem with creation. I had a problem with the organized way that it was given to me. That when I take this connection, like everyone's saying, with myself, and look at all parts of myself and my spirituality and my things, I am connected, and I feel more closer connected than I ever have, to I choose to call it source, because I also know that it's gender doesn't matter, for that. So it's been a full circle moment for me, that I'm actually really happy about, because I was disconnected. I was completely disconnected from myself and was being blocked because of that huge component. And even with me, saying out loud who I am authentically, that still was so ingrained in me because of that, the Southern Baptist culture, that I didn't realize how ingrained it was. I really didn't. But that's it. Now it's gone.
So awesome, so beautiful, so beautiful, such a beautiful journey, and thank you for unfolding your journey before us. I think some of us have unfolded in the sacredness of our own safety space, and it's beautiful to see others feel safe enough to unfold before us, and it is such a privilege. So thank you so much for that, Soraya. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Go ahead, Jonathan.
Wow, I'm just honoring what everybody is sharing. My gosh. It's almost like I just want to repeat back all these little notes that everybody's dropped. Just thank you. Yeah, I would just say like this is connected again to movement and to walking and just moving at an unhurried pace. For me, I also grew up in a pretty religious upbringing that was really, really hard. I also moved every 2 years. So I went to 14 different schools, very sensitive, very just a unique little star in the room and I never felt like I fit in anywhere. So a lot of isolation. And so the voices and the things, the things in the mind, the self, the very, very difficult self-talk, self-criticism, the stories, they really took over for me. And in my mid-20s, I was on a lot of edges, in a really, really hard place. And so from those edges, I was like, something has to change, or I will not make it to the other side of this. And so I was really hungry for what that would be. And this is just a very summarized version, but I found this book called Walk Across America at a 20-cent book sale, staring at me. And I'm like, what is this book? Why is it talking to my stomach and my legs and my heart? And I was going to school, trying to finish school. I read this book nonstop. I cried. It made me angry. I threw the book at the wall. I stripped down naked. I lit candles. I was playing guitar while reading this book. It was a whole thing. And I knew I needed to do it. I knew I needed to get into my body, and I needed to start over. And this was at 27. I needed to start over. This is back to the age thing, like whatever, like we're all just, it's back to Elahi. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it, Eliyahu. And just this, like, this is all just made up. Like, can we just start over? Like a new canvas. I'm gonna need new colors. I'm gonna need a new system. I'm gonna need new teachers. I'm gonna start over, or at least I'm gonna try. And so I had never done a long walk like that before. I was not a backpacker person. My backpack weighed 95 pounds. For anybody that knows anything about that, that's a lot. I had my Blue Heeler Husky with me because I was terrified. I was scared. Trembling scared. On the outside, I looked maybe sort of, I was trying to keep it all together, but inside I was shivering, trembling. And so to walk for 242 days, I had Thich Nhat Hanh's, an amazing Buddhist mystic teacher. The earth will be safe if we feel safe, when we feel safe in ourselves. The earth will be safe when we feel safe in ourselves. The earth will, and I felt so far from that place, and a lot of times I still do. But the mantra of that. I had Reverend Dr. Howard Thurmans, an amazing mystic, advisor to Martin Luther King Jr., Black civil rights. I had his Sound of the Genuine commencement speech. If you haven't read that, oh my gosh, please read it. But Sound of the Genuine makes the same music in each of us, just the way he talks about this uncovering of the sound of the genuine. So I had these things moving with me. I stayed with 120 strangers on this walk. Moments by the time I got to the high desert, I was like, I felt myself become a part of the sky. Like I saw myself in the stars. I saw myself in the wild horses. So I finished this long journey. I left trembling really deeply, like not being sure if I would just survive the container I was given. Um, and uh, and I ran into the beach of the West Coast like I have what it takes. I love who I am. This is a whole new thing. We're starting over. We're starting over, Jonathan. You know, and holding the hand of childhood self. Um, so walking movement, it became like the teacher, the guide, the practice, the medicine, the one of many paths that I know we all kind of hold and are trying and experimenting with. And so the teaching and the journey and the spirituality and just very much the queerness and all these trees. I mean, to see all these trees twist and bend. So many of these trees ain't got no time to grow straight and narrow. Just no time. We have no time. But do you see the way the wind moves some of these trees and the sunsets and the color? I remember when I was walking in California, getting closer to the beach, and I just kept noticing all these plants growing out of like these industrial areas because I'm walking through industrial big like land that's been pretty polluted, and I see all these beautiful flowers and plants coming through the ground. And I kept thinking of LGBTQ time. I keep thinking of trans time. I keep thinking of non-binary time. I keep thinking of like, this is like, we need all this color to come through and to heal the soil. And so not only is it here, but it's like there is so much purpose for queerness as well. And I really felt that too. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes and amen. Yes and y'all, we are having church. Um, we're having church, and thank you, thank you for sharing. So, as the time come close for us to sort of end our time together today, one last question. Um, Now, as a healer, as a guide, as a coach, but also as someone who removing all these labels that we adopt, someone who's just doing their best to walk in their authentic selves, what would you tell your younger self? As someone who is waking up every day, saying yes to life, to joy, to grief, to pain, to understanding and not understanding, saying yes to acceptance and to resistance, and continuing to do your very best to live authentically, what would you tell young you? Anyone? Jamie.
I would say grab some popcorn and a ticket to the best movie of your life, because regardless, you're going to live it. And there is love, there is pain, there is everything that you want to see in the best movie that you've ever seen. The most important thing is that you continue as you. And one day, it will make sense as much as it needs to in that moment. That's what I would say.
Grab your popcorn. This is the best movie you'll ever see. Whew. So good. Who else?
I would tell my younger self, it really does get better. It might get a lot worse before it does get better, but it does get a lot better. and then it might get worse again, and then it'll get better again, and that's how it goes. But just
Ah,
keep going forward and keep choosing joy.
absolutely. It does get better. It might get really bad. It might get really, really bad, but it'll get better again. I love that. Yes, so real. Yes. Who else?
I
I
would tell, go ahead.
Go
Who's
ahead,
that?
Catherine. Go ahead, Catherine.
I would tell my younger self that keep pushing through. How you feel now, other people feel the same way. You're not as alone as you think. And if you push through, you will find the people who feel as you do, who think as you do, and they are so bleeping cool. Y'all are cool.
I love that. I tell my clients in a very loving way, although it doesn't sound, nah, sometimes it's, I tell them, you're not that special. You're not the only one going through this. You're unique, but you're not that, like it. Yes, I love that. I love that. Someone else is feeling the same way. Just because you don't know does not mean that they're not feeling it. I love that. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Soraya.
Now I know why we both started to speak at the same time, because the message was so similar. It was. It was things are going to be up and down for a really long time. You're going to think that you have it figured out several times and you don't. Keep going. Keep pushing on. Don't forget that fire in your belly. You can trust it always. It's going to take you back home to yourself. It's going to take you to that connection to be your authentic self, your connections with others, with the earth, with animals, with the divine. Keep going. Never stop walking.
So good. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah. So what would I tell my younger self would be that you got it right. You figured it out. It looked like hell. It hurt like hell sometimes. But it was also a discovery and a journey and an evolution. And maybe it's even like, I don't know what exactly Jonathan meant by the sound of the genuine or the sound of genuine. But I think that's what we're all headed towards. What does that mean to me? Is your unique expression, your unique vibration. So if I met my younger self, I wouldn't just say, hey, you know what, it looked scary, but you got it right. Because look at you, and here you are now. Because now we can go somewhere very special, to the space that is the symphony of symphonies. Because there's a space that's nothing but light and sound and color, and we all exist there. And if a baby cries here, it's really the sound that was started in the symphony of symphonies. And you're playing your unique, authentic sound there, that genuine sound of you as a vibration. And it may sound like a car turning a curve sometimes. It may sound like an argument sometimes. It may sound like fear sometimes. But it's playing. And it's playing through you. And every step you're taking is a part of that song and that chorus. And then there's going to be a moment when you sing. And sing, baby, sing. And keep singing. Closest to the sound that you are most purely here, but that is coming from the space of the symphony of symphonies. And our minds don't know what that space is, but we're not our minds. And our minds go through the fears and the thinking. And when we can begin to observe that from the vibration we are and love ourselves, then that sound that we are and the symphonies of symphonies plays clearly through. Whatever gender, race, any label doesn't matter. Sing, baby, sing.
Mm, yeah. 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 Who else? Have we all gone? Yes. Jason. Jason,
Jason has
I'm
been quietly making a picture up in the
Jason,
corner.
I'm loving your I feel seen. I feel I'm loving that bear. I think I'm too young to be a bear, too old to be a cub, um, too short to be a bear. But anyways, what that's a whole different whole different topic for a whole different day. Um, I would tell my younger self, slow down, breathe. It's okay not to know. And no one will ever love you more than you can love yourself. And I'm thinking of different stages in my life as a younger version of myself. And I think if you've known me and you've been in my lives together, I really close to my mom, and she's been live with me together before. We've done lives together, and even and there's a conversation I had with her, but even her unconditional love does not compare to the love I can give myself. And that was a really hard concept. So I would tell my younger self, no one will ever love you more than you can love yourself, even when you don't like yourself, even when you don't understand yourself. Stop trying to figure it out. Just be, breathe. And that's the encouragement for everyone who is listening, for everyone who is watching the recording, listening to the recording. It's okay to pause. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to not know. It's okay to figure it out. It's all part of the symphony. It's all part of the song. Allow yourself to feel. It's okay. Pause, breathe. And in the breath, you'll find acceptance. In the breath, you'll find yourself. In the breath, you'll hear the eternal song that has always been sung over you, a song that says that you're accepted just as you are, a song that have always supported you, regardless of choices, regardless of whatever you've chosen to do or not to do. You've always been supported. The ground has always been beneath you. So pause, breathe. It's okay. This is the best flipping movie you'll ever watch. Ah, and I'm sorry, some of us might have a series. It's not a movie at this point. It has seasons, baby. Because if it's a movie, it's gonna be a long movie. um, so ah, somebody call the streaming services and give them the script to your life, because I can assure you it's it's a movie worth watching. So stay. Stay even for the credits. It's a movie worth watching. And I'm going to stop because no, I'm not gonna stop. If you're listening and you are going through it and it feels like you only have two options, I encourage you, we encourage you, stay for the credits. They're worth it. Just stay. You are loved, you are supported, just stay. And hopefully that resonates. So, what do you all have going on here on Insight Timer? What's happening? I'm actually going to give it back to Violet. This is Violet's part. So again, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all you teachers for showing up authentically. Thank you for unfolding before us. Thank you for sharing part of your essence with us. And thank you for paying the price of saying yes to the call. Thank you for paying the price for saying yes to healing, because your yes allows someone else to say yes to their journey and their healing. So thank you all so much. It has been an honor and a privilege to be here co-hosting. So now back to Violet.
Thank you. Gosh, it has been an honor for me to be part of this conversation, to sit here among everyone and hear so many words of wisdom. And I know from the comments I was reading, oh, and there's 108. Look at that. I love it. My number. Signs from the universe. But this conversation has been amazing, absolutely beautiful. I'm so grateful to all of you who joined. Thank you to those of you who messaged me out of the blue and said, "Can I join?" Whether it was at the last minute or a week ago. This amazing. I can't even, and I, as I sat here listening to you, everything you said applies to all of us, regardless of who you are or what you are. So I, was soaking in every word. I loved it. And I'm going to go around again and ask that you all share what you might have coming up, your lives, retreats, anything that you want to talk about before we go. I'm going to start with my opera singer, Catherine, who, as I said in the beginning, I stalked her, invited her to every possible live, and was so happy when she said yes.
Well, checking my emails always helps. Coming up live with the Insight Timer, I am teaching the tarot from the point of view of the Fool. Because I promise you, even with the doctorate, I am not smarter than anyone else on here. I'm enjoying working through that from a comedy perspective. I think comedy helps things stick. I also have a few lives coming up where I will be graciously offering Reiki to the collective, come and collect, as well as a live this Sunday that I am very excited about. It is the new rules of the universe according to you. Because if Murphy can doom us all with, if anything that can go wrong will, maybe your rule could save us. Let's workshop it.
Love it. Love it. Eliyahu.
Hi again. Thanks, Violet, for putting this all together and being so gracious to just be like, sure, come and join. Here's the link. Thank you. I've been seeing all your Ask Your Guides for a while now, so I'm very honored to be able to join, especially for today's theme. I have a few things going on. Next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm doing a collective prayer for the earth. We're sending Reiki to areas affected by war and just everywhere in the world. Teacher Carrie Sewall, she did this yesterday and I was there and it was so powerful. And I was like, you're inspiring me to do this. Somebody was like, let's do it every week of July. And Carrie was like, ooh, I don't know about that. And I was like, I'll do it next week. Like we'll swap off. So I'm doing that. Whether or not you're a Reiki practitioner, whether or not you've ever sent healing love before, everybody is welcome. The power of having so many people with focused intention. And I'll lead a short grounding meditation. Maybe I'll even bring my tongue drum and do a little bit of music just so that we're all feeling it. So that'll be Wednesday. Thursday, I'm not sure what time yet, but I will lead some sort of full moon ceremony doing Reiki. And I always channel reflection prompts to look at. And then I have a retreat coming up. We do still have spots left. There are still cabins available. So if you're somebody that is like, I really don't want to be camping in a tent, guess what? There's a cabin with a roof over, so you don't even have to worry about it. But there's limited ones, so make sure you grab it quick. It's all included in the price, the food, the stay, all the activities, everything. So that's happening July 20th through the 25th in Nebing, Ontario. The closest airport is Thunder Bay, and without any extra fee or cost, Cindy is the sweetest, most generous human ever. Will arrange a ride, whether it's her herself picking you up, whether she lets me drive her truck, we'll see, or having another friend come. It's about a 30-minute drive to the airport to pick you up and to take you back after the retreat is over. So it's like, wow, such a good deal. So you can go to my profile to find that, or to Cindy Crow's profile. And I think that's everything that I have. But I have a lot of new meditations coming out soon. I have some music tracks uploaded, and yeah,
I was just
much,
typing your name in the chat there.
much love
Is
to
this your
everybody.
first retreat with Cindy?
Yeah,
I've heard her retreats are really good. That's awesome.
yeah. This is our first retreat collaborating together. But she's been doing them here for a
Right.
while.
She does. She does a really nice job. And I liked what you said about the other events that you're doing. I wanted to point out to all the teachers here that on August 2nd, we're doing a peaceful pause. And we invite all the teachers, anybody that wants to join us. I think we've got like over 30 teachers signed up already. So if you haven't signed up yet, I know some of you have, just message me. I will add you to that invitation. I would love to have all of you here because you're all amazing. And I'm going to move over to you, Jonathan.
Such a gift to be with everybody. Violet, Alejandro, thank you for hosting and nurturing such a space. Uh, so I'm still, I think I'm in the experimenting as a teacher on Insight Timer space still. I'm dabbling and playing. So I do have like I try to have weekly live sessions. I haven't scheduled mine yet because I just had one that are focused. I call them breathing and centering sessions, and it's super casual. We drop into a 20-minute unguided sit, but we do some deep breathing and some connecting before and after. Really, just really open and spacious. And then I've got several tracks that are connected to unhurried movement as a meditative practice. Just so much that can happen in our minds in terms of creativity and opening channels and letting things go, shedding what no longer serves us. So there's tracks that are available there. And then there is a course, walking as a meditative practice, that is just meant to just create a tool framework for like, okay, I want to try to schedule this into my calendar, and here's some tips to do that. So thank you. Yeah, thanks everybody.
Excellent. Dina.
Hey everybody. So I'm on Insight Timer with a live usually once a month. And but I do actually and I have a bunch of tracks. I think there's like 50 tracks on there if you want to go and listen, and please do give a follow. And then I do weekly content as well, and one-on-one sessions, but I do have weekly uploads, and you'd have to go to my bio and check the first link because it's totally a possibility to not just hope you love yourself, but experience that space of love. And today, please bask in the beautiful energy that's coming in on July 3rd. It hits most strongly twice a year, January 3rd and July 3rd, but it is all year long. And this beautiful divine feminine energy is reaching to the planet in a big way today. And she's reminding us to go into our intuition and our feeling and to let go of listening so much to the mind. So may you feel that so much in your body and into your experience. And I hope that you'll check out my bio and learn additional options for how you can enjoy this as well. So, but also thank you, Alejandro, and thank you, Violet, and thank you, everyone here and everyone listening. Each one of your energies is so important, and I'm grateful to be in the same space with you. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jamie.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Violet and Alejandro, and all of you. Really, so much gratitude. This is the most community I've felt in a long time outside of spaces I create on Insight Timer. And in a true Aries fashion, I'm currently like all in. I've abandoned pretty much all else of social media, a lot of things that I've been doing for months. I am doing a lot of things for Insight Timer right now. So, number one is that I do 6 lives a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Every single one of those 2 events on those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are different modalities. So, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am there for an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what it is. The first Wednesday of the month, I do a Reiki talk experience, which is 2 hours, but most of my events are an hour and a half. I do galactic channeling with or without a sound bath on Mondays in the first session. Second session, I do affirmation card readings. Then Tuesdays, I do mediumship readings in the first session. Then the second session, I do burnout recovery speed mentoring, which is like speed dating, but I'm a table of one and I'm mentoring you along the way out of burnout. Then on Wednesdays, Reiki infused quantum channeled art healing. And then the second one is either that Reiki talk, and the rest of the time, it is a sound bath and guided meditation. And then I have probably over 60 free tracks, all infused with Reiki on different things. I organize everything in a playlist because if I don't, I'm autistic and I'll lose it. So, hopefully that's helpful for everyone. And I recently started by request a group. So I have the Waken Wellness Center group that you can join, and I'm going to be adding value on there as well. I'll be there for the peaceful pause. And I'm building my first course, which is currently taking way longer than I ever imagined. But it's based on the affirmations deck, and it's going to be a 9-day affirmation course. So I'm super excited about that and getting to know you. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. I love hearing from all of you, and I love you all unconditionally. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. I want to add real quick. Someone was asking for the names. I did put them all in the chat. But Soraya, have you actually changed your name on Insight Timer, or are you still using? You have changed it. Okay. So I have her down as Casey Wilson, but it's Soraya, and I can't see the writing is so small. What does it say at the end? Soraya, the Soraya Sanctuary. Okay.
Yeah, on Insight Timer, my name is Soraya Echo Flame.
Okay. I was going to type that in. I'll let you do that. All right. Actually, I'm going to let you let us know what you have going on. Oh, and I also wanted to add for the people asking for names, when I upload the recording, which I will do tonight, and you can find that through the link in my bio, I will have all the teachers' names and all of their links there as well. So definitely make sure you follow them. And go on.
Okay. Sorry, I was putting my name in the chat.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay, so I have 2 lives that I do consistently every week. The first one is called Wisdom Wednesday. It is at 7:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I start with a brief energy reading, then I've channeled a card for the collective. I read that, and then I open it up for individual readings. My second live is on Saturday, and that's Story Saturday. And that is where we read, you know, we've joined in the John Energy A Commitment to Love challenge with, you know, books and things like that. So um, we stepped a little bit. We started with 4 agreements, but I've stepped a little bit out of it for where my energy currently is right now. So that is on Saturdays. It's at 7:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right now we're reading the Akashic Records Made Easy. So we read from the chapter, and then there's always a guided meditation at the end to integrate the things that we've taken in. I have a couple new tracks that just got approved. I'm working on more. I also am working on a course called Channeling Through the Noise. Because there's a lot of that, right? A lot of that. And I had struggled with that for a while. So taking the things that I learned with that and putting that into a course. And then I am working on putting together a retreat in October in Sedona, Arizona called Soul on Fire. I do have all the information up about it. I'm probably going to do an Insight Timer live again. I did one to talk about it and get interest. I'll probably in the next week or two do a second one because that is a very fire-led soul transformation retreat. So that's what I have. I think that's all. I think that's all I have going on right now.
Sounds like plenty. All right, Jason.
Oh, hello, everybody. And speaking of Sedona, that's where I'm at right now. So, well, from the Sedona area currently, I just arrived today. In fact, I was over in Prescott because I had scheduled my first Insight Timer retreat, and it was a good experiment to see what I don't want to do if I ever do it again because I had to cancel it. And long story, but I do appreciate everybody who was trying to help me and advocate for me and stuff. Definitely need a lot more support and help if I try to do this again here. So thanks for your feedback on my art.
Love
This
it.
is just a little reminder here to pause and to bear with it. So
Nice.
this is actually something that Alejandro was talking about. He's kind of wondering if he's a bear because that's a part of gay subculture. Just as there is the rainbow flag, there's subcultures within the countercultures, and they have their own little groups within that. So because I've been camping in the mountains, I'm coming to you from my travel trailer, so I have some mountains here. And I just finished it, so thanks y'all for keeping me company while I was doing some art therapy. They had a deal at the store. It was $1 for water-based markers, so it's nice to do a little art therapy. And as far as my products, I am writing books. That's my goal, is especially on this trip, is to finish a couple of books, and they're huge. They're like 100,000 words each. And last year when I went up to the mountains, I started a book and it was just too tough. And so if anybody wants to help, especially if they want sort of an alternate view of the LGBTQ community, especially when it comes to gay men who are alienated within the LGBTQ community and the things that have been suppressed from our media sources, and some of the stories that I have, which have been taken down, have been suppressed, repressed, have lost the fight, so to speak, and trying to get out things that have actually happened that folks don't want to admit happen in our community, and trying to write a book about that too. And I've got a working title and some graphics and thousands of words, and then it just got too traumatic. So kind of put that down for a bit. So here is some stuff that I have currently on the Insight Timer. It's called the 5 Rhythms. It's part of my therapeutic movement stuff that I do. And this is a piece that I composed. I played several different instruments, including an oboe, a box tambura from India, and some sampled instruments. some virtual drums, and it's just really intense. And talk about being suppressed. This has been some really intense oppositional energy with this piece because there's a lot of intention put in this that has some really unusual potential compared to a lot of other music that I make and that I listen to, that I've been involved in. I've also got some drone pieces too that I did if you're just into doing a simple drone in C, D, or E. And so those are brand new things that have just been uploaded here in the last couple of months. And I'm going to make this picture available on my Instagram. So if you look up Fake Zappa, in fact, I'll put it here, F-A-K-E Zappa, not Frank Zappa.
He is not
On
mentioning
Insta-
outside sources, by the way. I will
Oh,
upload
oh,
his
oh, I'm
his
sorry.
link in the
I
replay
thought
and
that,
on
okay,
Insight Timer,
I'm
and you can
sorry.
find him.
Okay, and oh, speaking of Insight Timer and group, somebody else mentioned their group. I've got a group, and it is mostly DreamWorks stuff. And so if you just look up in a search for groups, DreamWork with one word, then you'll probably find me. There's only a couple of groups that are called DreamWork, and I'm been taking a break because of health reasons and because I just don't have a stable internet connection, but this one seems to be pretty good, so I might start doing my Wednesday night groups again. And so if you're curious, this is called DreamWork, Qigong, Self-Care, Music, etc. is the group from Jason T. Ingram, which is me, also known as Dialectic Flowers, my meditative stuff as well. So thanks again for letting me crash your party, Violet, and it's good to see Dean here, and of course Alejandro, and some new faces as well. And been mostly just sort of listening here, and I've kind of felt like if I did chime in, I'd be sort of a wet blanket on sort of where the vibe was going. So I decided to sit out, and everybody that's in the archives too, listening in the future, thank you, and happy belated Pride 2025.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And like I said, all of you who are here, join us August 2nd for that peaceful pause. Speaking of the beautiful energy you have, we would love to have you there. Right now, we've got over 30 teachers. I know Alejandro's looking forward to moderating that. Because, I only do technology, so. All right, all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone who joined us in the community, everyone who joined us on this beautiful panel. I look forward to doing more things with you in the future. And we are going to say goodbye and wrap it up. Thanks again.